Welcome to another episode of React tutorial series. In this episode, we're going to learn about React Ref. Ref is a little bit advanced concept. So if you're not familiar with React, then you can watch my previous videos and then you can come back to this video to learn about Ref. So when I talk about Ref, you might be thinking about DOM manipulation because Ref normally is used for DOM manipulation, but actually Ref is not only about DOM manipulation. There's something more about ref. In this video, we're going to learn each and every part of ref. So make sure you watch the full video, and I'm going to give you the time code for each section so that you can quickly navigate to different sections of the video. So what is ref? What is the full form of ref? Ref means reference. This is just a short form of reference. So that means when you want to reference something outside of React, then we can use ref. So suppose you have your React component over here, and this is something that is outside of React component, outside of React's control, and you want to reference this object from React component, then you can do that ref. So ref can be used for referencing that outside component in your React component. So let's write some code and understand how React Ref works. So this is my simple component. It is not returning anything. So let's write some ref here. I need to provide some name. Let's say this my ref equals to useRef. So this useRef is one hook that is used to create one ref. Now what happens when you write this type of code? So this useRef will return one object that will hold that outside whatever you want to store in this object. That is up to you, but it will just return one object, and that object will have one property called current. If you want to view that, let's log it, console log my ref. Now if I refresh the page, you can see that returning one object that is having one property called current, and we're not storing anything, so it is undefined. Now this object can be used to store any information that is outside of React, and React will not touch that object. And that is the key thing here. This myref object will not be part of the React ecosystem. So even if you change it, even if you update this myref, it will not re-render the component. Now at this moment you can ask, why do we need it? We already have states. If we want to store some information, then we can just use state. What is the use of this? So there's a difference between state and the ref. The key difference is that if you change the state, then it re-renders the component. But if you change the ref, it will not re-render it. That is the key difference. In previous videos, you have seen how state works. You can create one state like s and set s. So name of the state is s. Use state. Initial value is 0. In this component, I'm going to render both the state and the ref. All right. So I can say state is state and a ref is my ref dot current. You can also set the initial value of the ref using this useRef function. Let's say the initial value is 1. Let me add one button for the state. On click of the button, I'm going to increase the state value. Now one more button for the ref. On click of useRef, on click of the button, let's call it increment state and increment ref. So here I'm going to, so for ref I don't have any functions to update the ref, so I can just directly update the object my ref dot current plus plus. All right, now we have two buttons, increment state and increment ref. Now if I refresh the page, you can see that the current value is, for ref the current value is 1, and for the state is the value is 0. Now if I increment the state, you can see the state is increasing, right? Now if I try to increment the ref, you can see nothing is happening because the component is not re-rendering, but it is actually incrementing the ref, but the component is not re-rendering. How do you know? Now see, I'm incrementing it. Now if I click on the increment state, so this will re-render the component. Now you can see the ref is updated, but if I increment the ref, it will not re-render the component. Now if I click on increment state, now it is updated. So that is the key difference between state and the ref. Ref will not re-render the component, and state will re-render the component. Now you can use these properties to your advantage. Like if you want to show something in the screen, then definitely you should use state. And for very few use cases where you want to store something but you don't actually have to show it in the page, then for those use cases ref can be used. And also ref is lightweight because React don't have to track the ref changes, so it is often lightweight. So in those situations you can use ref. Alright, so now you know what is a ref. Now here comes the most important part. What is the basic use case of ref? We normally use ref for manipulating DOM. So now we are going to discuss about DOM access with ref. So let's clean the code at first. I don't need to show all this for now. Let's say we have one input element, just a simple input element. In this input element I can write something, hello. Now if you want to access this element, this actual DOM element, then how will you access it? That is where ref comes into picture. You can use ref to access this particular DOM element. DOM element, I mean, if you inspect it, you can find out the DOM element from here. So I'm talking about the actual DOM element, not the virtual DOM. Okay, so how will you do that? Here we're going to use a property called ref. All right, so for that, first we need to create our ref. So const my ref goes to useRef. Initial value will be null, and now in the input I can write ref equals to my ref. Now this is the important part. Now React is providing this ref property so that you can attach, so that you can access the particular DOM element that you want. So our input, I've written ref equals to, this is my ref. So now if I console log it, console log my ref, let's see what happens. If I check the console here, you can see the console, you can see the current is null. So why it is null? The reason is, if I go to the code, see initially when the component renders, the value of my ref will be null because I have passed null here. Now after the component renders, React will set the ref value in the current ref.current. Now after that component is not rendering again, so that's why this console log statement will not be executed. Now let's write some code here, so I'm going to force re-render this component. Okay, so for that I'm going to add something like on change handler in this input box, and then on change I'm going to console log my ref. All right, now refresh the page. Initially I'm not showing anything. Now if I add something, you can see the ref value that is holding the input element. If I check here, current is holding this input. Now in the Chrome DevTools, you can see that if I hover over this input, the input in the page is highlighted. That's the Chrome DevTools thing. Click on it, it will go to Lemons tab, and it is showing the input. So in this way you can access the actual DOM element. But the question is, should you actually modify the DOM? The answer is always no. Just because React is providing a way to access the DOM element doesn't mean that you always have to update it. Okay, try not to use ref at all. Only when you need it and there's no other option, then you can use the ref and directly manipulate the DOM. That is fine, but try not to use it. Alright, so this is basically how React ref works, but there's more to learn. We're going to learn about forwardRef. What is a forwardRef? What is a forwardRef and why we need to use it? Let's write some code. Suppose we have one child component called my child component, my child. Now this child component is returning one div. Inside that it has some button. You can call it child button. All right. Now you want to access this child button. Okay, so this my child will be used in this parent component, in my component. So I'm going to render this my child, and if I check the app, you can see there's a child button and this input is coming from the parent. Okay, let's remove this input for now. Now I only have this my child, I don't have any other thing. Now we want to access this button element from the parent component, that is my component. How will you access that? So if you pass ref here, ref equals to my ref, it is not possible to access it. because first of all you'll get an error that this ref property does not exist here in my child. So how will you do that? So that is where this forward ref comes into picture. This is provided by React to forward your ref between different components. So for example, in this case, I want to forward my ref from parent to child, right? So that's why you need to use this forward ref. Now how it works. So first of all, you have to import forward ref from here, from React, and then you can wrap your child component with this forward ref function. So this is one ESLint error. To fix this error, you have to set the display name for my component. Set display name equals to my child. This is required because when I'm wrapping this function, arrow function, with this forward ref function, then ESLint will not be able to understand that component name is my child. Maybe because of that is required. Now that we have forwarded our ref, we can access the ref from here. So we'll get props and ref. You must be knowing that the props is the first parameter for any functional component. So props will be the first one which is required, and the second one will be the ref. Now you can use this ref to forward this ref to the button. Ref equals to ref. Now this is one TypeScript type error. So when you are using forward ref with TypeScript, you have to provide the type, the reference type. So the reference type will be, I think, HTML. This is HTML input. It's not input, HTML button element. So this is only required for TypeScript. All right, now you can see that the ref that we passed in my child, this will come as ref in the second parameter, and then you can use that ref to forward that to some other component in your chain. All right, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please hit like, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. And if you're liking the series, then please subscribe to my channel so that you can know more about my other videos. And also it's going to help me a lot if you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next episode.